Hello and welcome to part 10. It is so cold in the UK. However, the sky is blue and I'm very grateful for that. In these next 3 episodes, I'm going to be focusing on part 4 of your personal brand plan, which is all about speaking, your visibility, and how we can really make it work for you. I know people say all these things of just become more visible, just build your network, just think positively. And they are great things, but also how? What's my first step? How do I move in the right direction? So the first thing that I truly realized last year, and 2025 for me was absolutely in conjunction with the year of the snake. I felt the most enormous shedding and letting go and looking at parts of my business and life, and it was a lot at times. And when I was in that deep processing, I did not want to be visible. And I have realized this as a pattern over the years. My visibility is the first thing to go if I'm not feeling it. If I'm having an upbeat day, if I've got something to say, if I'm feeling motivated, if I'm feeling energized, if I'm feeling well rested, I'm right there having a conversation. If I'm not, I want to retreat. And lots of last year, I needed to retreat because I had things that required my focus and attention behind the scenes. And so what I've realized is visibility is so important to my business. People need to see me, connect with me, be in conversation with me, understand my products and my services. And if I'm a personal brand, that needs to come from me, not a bot, not an AI situation. Personalization is going to be everything for me. And so what do I need to do? What systems do I need to have in place that protect my visibility and give me the wiggle room that I need in order to still be visible, but also to be personal as well? And so some of the things that I've been really working on is batching. It's optimizing the content that I already have. It's using a brand new piece of content and then chopping it up and using it in different ways, different forms of technology, different platforms, transcribing it into the written word. So many ways you can do this. I would love you to think about what that means for you. Number 2, I don't know if you saw this, but I have watched it several times with my daughter. Jessie J on Jules Holland Hootenanny. It's on iPlayer, it's on YouTube at the moment. She sings My Way by Frank Sinatra. And her vocals are something else. Her range, her power, the dexterity of her voice, it's quite unbelievable. I think she's so underrated in what she can do. Also, her persona online is deeply personal. And from what she's shared, she's had so many health challenges and she's also a mum. She's got a really young kid, all of these things. And I've watched her career from the sidelines. And one thing I've always noticed is her emotion that she brings. I can't say she brings her whole self to the table because how do you define that? But she's not somebody who goes through the motions. When she's on stage, she's absolutely there. And there was a moment when in this song, the camera panned round and a woman in the audience, she was brought to her feet. It was like I brought to her feet and then she just started clapping. And it was a whole body moment. And when I watched her do that from something that she had seen, I thought about what I wanted my content to do. And I know it can be tempting for people just to scroll. However, when I got back to my content strategy, I was thinking, I want it to be activating. I want it to be stirring. I want it to have that sensory effect. I want it to be nuanced. I want it to be different. I want somebody to have that internal shift in themselves where they go to their feet and they step up and they say, I'm going to do this. I am going to do this. So that meant when I went back to my visibility strategy, that meant that I had to approach it in a whole different way, because it starts with the person that is sharing. I am sure somebody like Jessie J sets those intentions before she begins her performance. And I think due to the casual nature of social media, sometimes it's like we can just hop and pop on and be really casual about it. However, it's going to be important in this time, if you want to stand out, that you start differently. You start with focus, discernment, commitment, and purpose. Number 3, it goes without saying, even if that gnarly voice in your head wants to tell you something different. The gnarly voice in your head might want to say, nobody's interested. Nobody's buying right now. Nobody cares about this. There are 1,000,001 other people that, might be better than me, or whatever that self-sabotaging voice is. I am here to disagree with all of it. I believe that people are waiting for you. They're waiting for you and they're waiting for me. Your encouragement, your expertise, your skills, your perspective. They are waiting for you to show them, to guide them, to get the solution to them. That inner voice of self-sabotage that says you can't or you shouldn't or who am I or any of that junk, it needs to be parked and compartmentalized. Because if you do not recognize that voice, if you do not take control of that voice, you are never going to get to your business goals. And that takes work. That takes reframing. That takes time and attention for you to say, okay, what am I really here to do? From that soul place, that part of you that knows that you are meant for this, that part of you that knows that you can make a difference, that part of you that knows when you are in your flow, when you're in your zone of genius, your expertise, you know you can switch the lights on in somebody's eyes once again, and them have that moment of, oh my goodness, that makes so much, I now know where to go. That moment where they take that quick inhale and they suddenly realize there's possibility in their business or their life, or this problem that they have no longer needs to become their whole personality. It's really juicy. I urge you to listen to that voice, not to listen to it and do what it says, but listen to when it's showing up. If that self-sabotaging voice wants to come to the surface again and again, literally pull it out and sit it down. What are you trying to tell me? Why are you coming up again? What do you need? How can I work with you so we can compartmentalize this voice? Because I've got work to do. I've got stuff. I've got people over here who are absolutely at their wits' end looking for a solution. They're going round and round in circles and they've tried things and they haven't worked. You have to back yourself in that way. And sometimes it feels like you're faking it until you make it. But I promise you this. That inside voice is not your best friend. It pretends it's trying to keep you safe, but it's trying to keep you safe and boring and quiet. And what we need in this time is for you to be louder, is for you to be clearer, is for you to be more on purpose. I hope that's been useful for today. I'll see you again in part 11. If you're not subscribed to the channel and you're not following along, you know what to do. Also, if you want to work one-on-one and you want to do some really great, juicy work this year, I would love to help and support you. Lots of love.